In this video, I'm going to be going through the transformation in a little bit more detail, and there were things which I skipped, and when I was introducing these ones over here, like where we can actually rotate, scale, transform. So basically, the things which you can do. So if an object is selected and you are in one of these, like either in you are in moving the object, and you are in the rotation or scaling. So things which you can do is like when you are in the moving, right? So again, these are, if I zoom in, these are the things, like if you want to uh, move it to the along the y-axis, along the x-axis, and along the, sorry, in this case this would be x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. But you can also move along a plane. So this is a plane between the z-axis and an x-axis, and that would be like this. So you can actually move it in this plane. Again, you can move it over here in this x and y plane, and you can also move it in this z and y plane. So you have the ability to move into one axis, or like uh, in the planes. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, the other thing is the rotation. So if this is selected and we want to rotate it, if you zoom in, or actually not, so basically there are multiple things. So first is, like, if you want to rotate it on this axis, right, you can do multiple rotations, and like that. And you can rotate it in this axis or in this one axis, so you can rotate it. There is another one, right? This is like if you want to rotate like from your uh, if you hold, if you look at the outer circle and if you start rotating it from there, so basically what is gonna happen is, like, it's gonna rotate on the where your cursor is. Based on that, it's gonna start the rotation of the object based on your cursor. And there's an inner one which is completely free rotation. You can rotate it in any direction you want. That is like the mostly, like, I like to use this kind of rotation all the time. And that is like the free rotation. You don't have to rotate it uh, in like any axis. You can just rotate it anywhere you want. Okay, that's with the rotation. And with any of these, like, let's start with the scaling one, right? If you are here and you start moving the object, but you start moving it and you have this the left mouse clicked and you are rotating it, but then you decided, no, I don't want to move it anymore. So instead of releasing the left mouse, what you would do is, like, you will click a right, you will do a right click on the mouse, uh, right, or you would press escape in order to cancel that movement. Same goes with the rotation. You started moving the object, right, and then you decided, no, I don't want to move it. You press escape or you press the right click. And this is for the scaling, right? This is for the scaling. And again, we covered this one, but the only thing I wanted to cover this is, like, if you are scaling, right, and yep. So I was making sure what's the hotkey for that. So if you have the selection object and you select an object and press S, it's gonna auto scale for you. Like it's gonna scale the object for you. So again, in scaling, you can scale the object the way we did it in our earlier videos. We are scaling the object on one axis, right? Here, here, like kind of. It's still gonna be a rectangle, and we can move it in multiple ways. You can also scale the object on a plane, right? Like so, it's gonna scale to basically, yeah, it can scale onto like in a plane format. So, and again, in terms of scaling, like of course the third axis is gonna coordinate. Otherwise, how can you uh, scale an object? So if I'm here, so I'm just checking right now. Let's just have another nope, not a plane. I'm gonna put, okay, let's put another cube here, right? And then you want to scale it, right? So this is where you are scaling it in one axis, right? This is where you want to scale it into. So look over here that it is not scaling the z-axis for us. So only the x-axis and the y-axis is scaling. For this for some reason this is like this has been rotated. So the planes, like it is hard to see if the object is rotated, and then you are trying to scale the object in two planes where the planes have been changed. So things are gonna be look different. Although it will try to scale, but when you look at it, it is actually having like the third axis is scaling too. Yeah, so this is where that how you would do the scaling in the planes, right? And the last one I wanted to cover is if you have this, if you, other than these dots and lines in the planes, if you just click within this circle and start scaling, it's gonna scale everything on all three axes. So it's gonna scale like with the same factor, and it's gonna scale all the axes. The last one is once an object is selected, you will say transform, and it's gonna give you the ability to scale and to rotate and to uh, and to move. So all three are in uh, uh, one functionality, which is the transform. So that's all I wanted to cover.